A plane crashes on a clear night. A woman dies while 38 people watch. A song you've never heard feels familiar. A car with one broken window gets stripped in 24 hours. None of this makes sense until you see what your brain is hiding. I'm learning the world, and today we're dissecting the 4 hidden mechanisms that hijack your perception, memory, decisions, and reality itself. You spill coffee on your shirt before a meeting. Everyone will notice. Everyone will judge. You spend the next hour hyper-aware of the stain, catching phantom glances, reading mockery in every smile. Here's the truth. No one saw it. They were too busy obsessing over their own coffee stain, their bad hair day, their stupid comment from 5 minutes ago. You think you're the star of everyone's mental movie, but you're not even a background extra. You're invisible. This is the spotlight effect. We overestimate how much people notice us by 200 to 300%. That humiliating moment you replayed for weeks? Nobody remembers it. They were thinking about themselves. Your brain built a spotlight that doesn't exist, and you've been performing under it your entire life for an audience that isn't watching. Now meet someone beautiful. Before they speak, your brain decides. Intelligent, trustworthy, competent. One attractive feature, and suddenly they're bathed in golden light. The halo effect. Beautiful people receive 60% lighter prison sentences. Attractive defendants are acquitted 2.5 times more often than unattractive ones. For the same crimes. Your brain doesn't judge people. It takes shortcuts. And those shortcuts have body counts. Flip the scene. You collapse on a busy sidewalk. 50 people pass by. Surely someone will help. Statistically, you're 5 times less likely to get help than if one person saw you alone. The bystander effect. More witnesses equals less action. In 1964, Kitty Genovese screamed for help while being murdered. 38 people heard. 0 called police. Not because they were cruel, because each one thought someone else would act. Responsibility divided by 50 equals 0. In that invisibility, people die. Here's the twist. The loudest person in the room is usually the dumbest. Someone with 6 months of experience is overruling the expert with 20 years. They're not pretending. They genuinely believe they're right. This is Dunning-Kruger. Ignorance is invisible to itself. You need knowledge to recognize what you don't know. Meanwhile, actual experts drown in self-doubt. They see the complexity, the exceptions, the unknowns. Study of 3,000 professionals. The more someone knew, the less confident they felt. Confidence isn't competence. It's often the opposite. And we promote the loudest voice, not the wisest one. Walk into a supermarket. 24 types of jam on the shelf. Freedom. Abundance. Choice. When researchers offered 24 jam varieties, only 3% of customers bought anything. Reduce it to 6. Sales jumped to 30%. The paradox of choice. Too many options don't liberate, they paralyze. Your brain spirals, what if I choose wrong? So you choose nothing. Or you choose something and drown in regret. Modern life offers infinite choices, careers, partners, cities, identities, and we're more anxious than any generation in history. Not despite abundance. Because of it, every additional option is another door to regret. Your brain wasn't built for infinite possibilities. It was built to pick berries or starve. But here's what your brain obsesses over. Unfinished business. You stop watching a series mid-season. Days later, it haunts you. What happened next? You can't stop thinking about it. The Zeigarnik effect. Your brain remembers incomplete tasks 90% better than completed ones. Unfinished business creates a mental loop, an itch that won't stop until you scratch it. That's why cliffhangers work. Why to-do lists nag you at 3 a.m. Netflix knows this. Every episode ends on a hook. Your brain screams for closure. So you click next episode at 2 a.m., even though you have work in 4 hours. You're not weak-willed. You're neurologically hijacked. Modern life is designed to keep you incomplete. Forever scrolling, forever clicking, forever chasing the next episode of a series that never ends. Finally, control. You blow on dice before rolling. You press the elevator button 3 times. You wear lucky socks to an interview. Logically, you know it's meaningless, but it feels like it helps. The illusion of control. Your brain rewrites reality to avoid admitting powerlessness. Gamblers develop rituals. Investors believe they can time crashes. People think positive thoughts cure cancer. A study gave participants 2 buttons. One shocked them randomly, one let them control the timing. People preferred the control button, even though both delivered the same shocks. We'd rather have the illusion of control than admit we have none. Most of life is chaos wearing a mask of patterns, but your brain will fight that truth until the day you die, because powerlessness is unbearable. So it invents control. Everywhere, always. 7 traps. 7 ways your mind lies to protect you. From reality, from uncertainty, from the terrifying truth that you're not in control, not being watched, not as smart as you think. You're not seeing the world. You're seeing a comforting fiction your brain built to keep you functional. And we're just getting started. You learn a new word. Solipsism. Never heard it before? Next day, there it is in an article. Then a podcast mentions it. Then a friend uses it in conversation. It's everywhere. The universe is screaming at you. Except it's not. The word was always there. Your brain just wasn't looking. Now it is. So it highlights every instance, filters out everything else. The world didn't change. Your attention did. This is Baader-Meinhof, the frequency illusion. Your brain doesn't show you reality. It shows you what you're hunting for. Lock onto something and it becomes your entire world. A glitch in perception. But here's the darker one. You're forgetting everything. What's the capital of Ecuador? The chemical formula for photosynthesis? Your childhood best friend's phone number? Don't know. You'll Google it. Digital amnesia. We've stopped remembering because we outsourced memory to phones. Study of 6,000 people. 84.5% use smartphones as external brains. We don't store facts anymore. We store search queries. Your mind isn't a library, it's a directory. And when the Wi-Fi dies, you're hollow. But wait, it gets worse. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus took innocent people and convinced them they'd committed crimes as teenagers. Crimes that never happened. She used suggestive questions, fake evidence from relatives, gentle repetition. Within 3 sessions, 25% fully believed it. They remembered details. The warehouse, the security guard's face, the guilt. Their brains constructed entire false memories, vivid and emotional, from nothing. One man wept, describing how he assaulted someone with a weapon. It never happened. His brain invented it to satisfy the narrative Loftus planted. False memory. Your memory isn't a recording. It's a story rewritten every time you access it. Each recall adds errors, distortions, inventions. Eyewitness testimony has sent hundreds to prison. DNA, evidence later freed them. Confident, detailed, completely false memories. You don't remember your past. You remember the last time you remembered it. And that version is fiction. Here's another fracture. Time is broken. COVID started in 2020. Feels like a decade ago. It's been 5 years. Your first kiss feels like last year. It was 15 years ago. Telescoping effect. Your brain warps time based on emotion, not chronology. Boring years compress into nothing. Traumatic days expand into eternities. You're not living in linear time. You're living in emotional time. And emotional time is chaos. Now, play Tetris for 3 hours. Close your eyes. Falling blocks. Rotating shapes. Your brain is still playing, even with your eyes closed, even in dreams. Tetris effect. After prolonged exposure, your brain gets stuck in loops. Code all day. Dream in syntax. Scroll TikTok for hours. Your thoughts become 15-second clips. A programmer once said, "I spent a week debugging. Then I started seeing semicolons in conversations. My girlfriend said, 'I love you,' and my brain flagged it as a syntax error." You're not consuming content. Content is rewiring you. Here's the cruelest glitch. Stolen ideas that feel original. You have a brilliant idea. Share it. Someone says, "That's from a book you read 3 years ago." You don't remember reading it, but you did. Your brain filed it away, erased the source, stamped it original. Cryptomnesia. Unconscious plagiarism. George Harrison wrote "My Sweet Lord." Massive hit. Then a lawsuit. It was nearly identical to the chiffons. He's so fine. He lost. Cost him millions. He didn't intentionally copy it. His brain did. Every original thought you've had might be stolen. You just forgot the theft. Creativity isn't creation. It's recombination of forgotten fragments. You're not an inventor. You're a remix machine. Final nightmare. AI is rewriting reality. 2024. Researchers showed people AI-generated photos of events that never happened. Protests, disasters, celebrity deaths. Within 48 hours, 40% of participants remembered seeing those events on the news. Some described where they were when they heard about it. Deepfakes don't just fake images, they implant memories. Millions now remember things that never existed because they saw a convincing fake on Twitter. We used to say pics or it didn't happen. Now pics mean nothing. The Mandela effect, groups sharing false memories, used to be quirky psychology. Now it's weaponized, scaled, industrialized. Your memories aren't just unreliable, they're hackable, editable, sellable. 6 fractures in the architecture of memory. You don't remember reality. You reconstruct it, distort it, outsource it, forget it, steal it. Let machines rewrite it. Your past is a story, and you're both author and audience, never knowing which memories are real and which are beautiful lies your brain whispers to keep you functional. The past doesn't exist, only the story you tell yourself, and that story changes every time you tell it. Amsterdam, 1969. A psychologist parks a car on the street. Clean, intact, unlocked, 1 week, untouched. Then he smashes one window. 3 hours later, someone steals the radio. 10 hours later, the wheels are gone. Within 24 hours, the car is stripped to the frame. Seats ripped out, doors pried off. A week later, nothing remains but a skeleton. One broken window gave permission for chaos. This is the broken windows effect. A single visible sign of disorder triggers a cascade of violations. One piece of graffiti invites more. One person littering makes others litter. One rule broken makes every rule negotiable. Your environment doesn't just influence behavior, it programs it. And all it takes is one crack. Here's the darker side. You follow the crowd, even when the crowd is wrong. July 2024. Study on Arkshof. Researchers tracked decision-making across 12,000 participants. When one option had just 1% more popularity than another, people switched to it en masse, even when it was objectively worse. The marginal majority effect. A tiny lead creates an avalanche. Once something edges ahead, everyone piles on. Not because it's better, because it's winning. Look at Betamax versus VHS in the 1980s. Betamax had superior quality, better reviews, earlier launch, but VHS gained a 3% market edge through one retail deal. That 3% became 10%, then 30%, then total dominance. Betamax died not because it was worse, but because it was 3% behind at the wrong moment. This is how terrible products dominate markets, how incompetent politicians win elections, how mediocrity becomes the standard. You're not choosing quality, you're choosing the thing 51% of people chose before you. The crowd isn't wise, it's a stampede, and you're running with it. But here's what you don't notice. You're copying everyone around you. You're in a meeting. Someone crosses their arms. 5 minutes later, you do too. Someone leans forward. So do you. You mirror their speech patterns, their gestures, their posture. You don't decide to. It just happens. The chameleon effect. Your brain has mirror neurons that automatically mimic others. Study of 100 speed dates. People who mirrored their partner's body language were rated 30% more attractive. Waiters who repeated customers' orders verbatim received 70% higher tips. Job interviews, sales calls, first dates, interrogations. The person who mirrors wins. Not because they're more competent, because they're a better reflection. You think you're being yourself. You're being a reflection of whoever you're talking to. Your personality isn't fixed, it's adaptive. And you're adapting constantly, invisibly, without permission. Now, here's the cruelest trick. Other people's expectations shape who you become. 1968. Psychologist Robert Rosenthal told teachers certain students were intellectual bloomers. Pure lie. The kids were chosen randomly. By year's end, those kids scored significantly higher on IQ tests. Why? The teachers expected them to succeed. So they gave them more attention, more encouragement, more patience. The students absorbed those expectations and rose to meet them. The Pygmalion effect. If people believe you're talented, you perform better. If they believe you're incompetent, you collapse. Flip it. 2019 study. Managers told certain employees were low performers. Randomly selected. Within 3 months, those employees' productivity dropped 18%. Self-evaluations plummeted. Some quit. Not because they were actually bad, because someone expected them to be. Your boss thinks you're lazy. You'll start underperforming. Your partner thinks you're unreliable. You'll start forgetting things. Your parents think you're a failure. You'll find ways to prove them right. You become what others expect, not because you're weak, but because humans are social mirrors. We absorb the reflections people project onto us and mistake them for identity. You're not who you think you are. You're who they think you are. And once they decide, you're trapped in their prophecy. 4 mechanisms. 4 ways society reprograms you, through disorder, conformity, mimicry, and expectations. You think you're independent. You're not. You're a node in a social machine, constantly adjusting, copying, obeying invisible signals. One broken window, one popular choice, one mirrored gesture, one expectation. That's all it takes to rewrite you. Your behavior isn't yours. It's a response to the room. And the room is always watching, always shaping, always deciding who you'll become. The scariest part? You'll never notice it happening. September 3rd, 1997. Korean Air Flight 801. Guam. Clear night. Experienced crew. The captain sees the runway, calls it out, begins descent. The first officer sees it too. So does the flight engineer. All three are looking at city lights on a hill, 8 kilometers from the actual runway. 228 people die in the crash, the black spot illusion. At night, isolated lights against darkness appear closer and lower than they are. Pilots call it the black hole approach. Your brain has no reference points, so it guesses distance based on brightness. Brighter equals closer. But brightness depends on the light source, not distance. 3 trained pilots, thousands of flight hours. All saw the same hallucination. All believed it. All died because their eyes lied and their brains filled in the gaps with a fatal assumption. Your vision isn't reporting reality, it's making educated guesses. And sometimes it guesses wrong. Here's what happens when your brain can't decide what's real. Stare at a Necker cube, a simple wireframe cube on paper. Watch it flip. Front becomes back. Back becomes front. You can't stop it. You try to lock onto one interpretation. It flips anyway. The Necker cube. Your brain sees 2 equally valid perspectives and oscillates between them. There's no movement, no trick. Just ambiguity your mind cannot resolve. Now, scale that up. 2011 study. Radiologists examining the same X-ray on different days diagnosed different conditions 20% of the time. Same image, same doctor. Different interpretation. The Necker cube isn't a curiosity. It's a diagnostic error, a misread scan, a wrong verdict. Reality is unstable even when it's frozen on film. April 2024. Frontiers in Psychology. Researchers examined the Muller-Lyer illusion, 2 identical lines with arrows on the ends. Arrows pointing outward make one line look 25% longer. Always. Even when you measure them. Why? Your brain doesn't distribute spatial attention evenly. Context warps geometry. Angles distort length. Your perception of size isn't objective. It's skewed by surrounding shapes. Architects exploit this. The Parthenon's columns bulge in the middle. They'd look too thin otherwise. Subway tiles are slightly trapezoidal. Rectangles would appear warped. IKEA uses narrow aisles to make showrooms feel larger. You think you see shapes as they are. You see shapes as context tells you they should be. Every room you've ever walked into was designed to lie to you. And it worked. Now, here's the one that breaks people. Google rotating snake's illusion. Stare at the center. The circles spin. Spiral outward. Flow. The image is completely static. The peripheral drift illusion. Your peripheral vision processes information slower than your central vision. The lag creates phantom motion. Nothing moves. You're watching your own neural delay in real time. 2006, Japan. Drivers reported dizziness near certain road signs with high contrast patterns. Some swerved. 2 crashes. The signs were static, but peripheral vision made them appear to vibrate. The government redesigned them. Your brain doesn't just lag, it invents motion where none exists. And that invention can kill you. Pilots die because brightness lies about distance. Doctors misdiagnose because ambiguity destabilizes perception. Architects manipulate space because context warps geometry. Drivers crash because peripheral vision invents motion. Entire industries exist because your brain auto-corrects color. Vision isn't passive. It's not light hitting your retina and delivering truth. It's active interpretation. Your brain taking incomplete data, making assumptions, filling gaps, and handing you a seamless lie. You've never seen the world as it is, only as your brain decides it should be. And it's been wrong this entire time.